Chapter 6. For a moment nobody moved or spoke. Then several people began screaming at once. Terry's heart was beating so fast he could hear it. The vast room seemed to spin, then tilt. He grabbed a chair back to steady himself. It took a while for his head to clear. Sounds came back. He could hear individual voices. "Oh no, no. Is it real? Who is it? Somebody, call 911. Tightly holding Nikki's hand, Terry began to move toward the body with the other guests. He could see now that it was someone dressed in a skeleton costume. But who? Everyone seemed reluctant to get any nearer. Finally, Alex squatted down. He tentatively reached out to touch the body when suddenly the skeleton jumped up. "Trick or treat," the skeleton yelled and collapsed, laughing uncontrollably back on the rug. It was Les Whittle. There were gasps of surprise. Then laughter, nervous at first, built until the room nearly shook from it. "One for the wimp's side," shouted Ricky in triumph. "Great trick, Les." Terry clapped him on the shoulder. "It was good," agreed Trisha in a shaky voice. "But you had us all scared to death. Why didn't you tell the rest of the team you were going to do it?" "Because Justine and I didn't cook it up till just this morning," said Les, still laughing. He showed them all the knife. It was just a knife handle. The blood was the kind that comes in a tube. "I found these in a joke shop and thought it would be a shame to waste them," he explained. "It was the easiest thing in the world." "Yeah, well, for your information, none of us was scared at all," said Murphy. "That's just the sort of wimpy trick a wimp would pull." Les wasn't at all perturbed. "Sure, Murph. Tell us another one," he said, chuckling. He put his horn-rimmed glasses on over his skeleton mask. It made him appear incongruous, like a studious corpse. "I've been hiding in the kitchen for half an hour," he said. "Where's the food? I'm starved." Most of the kids, exhausted by dancing and the scare, collapsed on the antique furniture, eating and talking. "What a dumb trick," said David, his legs thrown over the arm of an antique rocking chair. "You're just jealous 'cause you didn't think of it," said Trisha. "We've thought of better tricks," David said. "Much better. You'll see what I mean, unless you get some sense and go home now." "Never," said Ricky. "You jocks don't have a chance." "You're the ones who don't have a chance," said Alex. "But I gotta hand it to Les. He made a pretty good corpse." Terry didn't say anything. Nikki was sitting, turned away from everyone, eating another plateful of food. He was glad she couldn't hear the conversation, because it would probably just get her mad again. "So what do you think, guys?" asked Alex jovially, sitting next to Terry and Nikki on the arm of an antique wooden bench. "Think your team can go the distance?" "We've got a better chance than your team," muttered Terry. "We have some brains on our side." Alex laughed. He wanted it to sound like a good-natured laugh, but Terry knew better. "Great costume, Nikki," Alex said, admiring her appreciatively. "Thanks," Nikki said. "I made it myself." "You always could do anything," said Alex. "I remember that great dress you made for the freshman dance. You were the best-looking girl there." "Well, thanks," said Nikki. Her eyes were sparkling, and Terry forced himself to take a slow, deep breath. He hated himself for feeling jealous, but he couldn't help it. After all, Nikki was sitting next to him, holding his hand, so why did he feel so jealous of Alex? Why did he want to punch him in the face? "Say, Nikki," said Alex teasingly, "don't you think it's about time you joined the jock team?" Nikki's eyes changed. She was no longer flirtatious, but sad now, and a little angry. "Oh, will you two stop it with your idiotic games? I've said 100 times I'm not on either side." She abruptly stood up and walked toward the fireplace. The dance music had started again, and Terry was surprised to see Nikki ask Ricky to dance. "What's with her?" Alex asked Terry. "I guess she's been hanging out with you for so long, she's forgotten how to take a joke." "Hey, Beal, you're the joke," Terry muttered. "She just doesn't like the whole contest idea." "Hey, man, I thought you were supposed to be such a good talker. You know, debate team and everything. And you mean you couldn't talk Nikki into joining your team?" "Whoa, Nikki makes her own decisions." Terry stood up. "I don't own her." "Wow. Heavy talk, Ryan. Back off, okay?" Alex leaned away from Terry and put up his hands as if shielding himself. "You and I used to be friends, remember?" Used to be, Terry thought. Those are the key words. He realized that Alex was reaching out to him. Alex was deliberately reminding him of what good buddies they had been until very recently. Alex was staring at him expectantly, but Terry couldn't respond. He just had a bad feeling about Alex. He couldn't pretend to want him as a friend again. Alex's eyes filled with disappointment. "Later, man," he said abruptly, and got up quickly from the bench. Alex walked toward the glowing fireplace with a swagger. The song on the tape ended. Alex stepped up to Nikki and Ricky and smoothly took Nikki's hand. As if he owns it or something, Terry thought, watching with growing discomfort. Trying not to look as if he were watching, Terry kept sneaking glances at Alex and Nikki. They were dancing to a fast number, and Nikki was smiling. Does she have to smile? Terry asked himself. Maybe he should go over and interrupt them. But that would just make Nikki angry, and Terry really didn't want any kind of confrontation with Alex. He watched some of the others for a while. Ricky and Trisha were dancing together again. While he watched, Ricky said something that made Trisha laugh, so hard she almost fell over. David was dancing with Angela. He was a pretty good dancer, and Terry realized that he didn't really know David. He was quieter than the other jocks, and didn't seem to take the competition as seriously as the rest of them did. The song ended and another began. Nikki was still dancing with Alex. Enough is enough, Terry told himself. He started to cross to them when a musical voice stopped him. Going somewhere? Terry twisted around to see Justine standing behind a love seat. I thought I'd dance, said Terry. Isn't that a coincidence? Said Justine. I was just thinking the same thing. How about dancing with me? She gave him her warmest smile, and Terry felt the knot in his stomach start to dissolve. Well, sure, he said. I'd love to. Good, said Justine. She took his hand and led him over near the fireplace. A slow tune was playing on the tape player. Terry saw Nikki whirl past with Alex, the Silver Prince, but she didn't see him. Up close, Terry became very aware of Justine's animal warmth and her perfume, a faint musky scent different from anything he had smelled before. She settled even closer, pressing her body tightly against his. How are you enjoying the party? She asked huskily. It's great, he said sincerely. I think everyone is really in a party mood now. Good, said Justine. It's very important to me for all of you to enjoy yourselves. Everything's perfect, Terry said, talking to distract himself from the way he was feeling. The food, the music, the lights. You've thought of everything. You and your uncle. As a matter of fact, Uncle Philip's up in the attic now, she said, preparing a few extra surprises. How'd you ever dream all this stuff up? Terry asked. We've had a long time to think about it, said Justine. But enough questions. Let's just enjoy the music, and each other. She pressed even closer to him, and for a moment Terry forgot everything except the scent and closeness of Justine. The tape ended and the dancers broke apart. Justine squeezed Terry's hand and went to put on a new tape. Guiltily, Terry realized that Nikki was standing by the fire, staring at him. She didn't look jealous or even angry, but there was a strange, unreadable expression on her face. Alex said something to her, and Nikki shook her head. She started to cross over to where Terry was, but stopped suddenly, her eyes wide with surprise. Everyone heard a tremendous thumping at the door, along with a growling roar from farther away. The noise was so intense that Nikki picked up the vibrations. Her mouth dropped open, and she turned toward the front of the room. Ricky pulled open the door, and the roaring became a deafening blast of sound. Then, as everyone watched in shock, 2 gleaming motorcycles bombed right into the living room.